What up, friends, family, followers? Justin Zimmerman here for another exciting edition of the Stability and Opportunity Podcast, the only podcast designed right now to help you get through these times, through these challenges, to know what to say, to know what to do, to help agents understand all the things the top agents and trainers and coaches are doing right now to stay busy, stay productive, stay focused. We've got an exciting guest, Jay Berube. If you're not familiar with him, do a quick Google search. You're going to find a lot of great content, a lot of great things that he's doing for other agents out there. And so when we got the opportunity to bring him on the show, we gave it a big double thumbs up to Jay Berube to share his thoughts and ideas with us. He's got a fantastic story. He's got a fantastic history. He's got some fantastic ideas he's going to be sharing with you in the next couple of minutes. And one thing we do when we start off is first say hi to everybody out there. Welcome back, Robert. I know we're going to see Amanda and all our favorite guests pop back. There's Pat. We have these recurring people that show up, Jay. And so we just like to say hi, what's up, from our fans and our friends back to the show. And so one thing I'd like to start off with you is if you have a quote that's really relevant right now to you, something that you've been saying to yourself, you've been saying to others, that's resonating and making a difference that you can fall back on. If you have that quote, would love to hear it.
Yeah, interesting. And thank you, by the way, for the awesome introduction.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I think I can drop the mic and go ahead and make sure that I'm going to have an awesome rest of the day now. So thank you very much.
People call me all the time for a little boost when I need it because I try to find the best in everybody. And during these times, I do what I can.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say one of the things that resonates the most right now is identifying problems as opportunities. You know, we tend to fall into these cycles of just inability to perform because we get distracted and we have big distractions around us right now. So the ability to identify a problem, turn it into an opportunity, and then to find a solution for that.
That's awesome. And I know based on your experience as an agent, which I think is important for everybody listening right now, for you to share a little bit about your agent history, your agent experience. So that way, when we get into the coaching side of things, there is a foundation as to who you are and the expertise that you've gained over the years.
Sure. So a little bit about my background. Is that what you want me to do?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. So about 15 years ago, I moved from about 20 years ago, I moved to Florida, and I was working at middle management in a hotel. And then I made the leap. I took the gigantic risk, right, into real estate as a side hustle. And it pulled me in right away. I was selling a lot of new construction. It's funny because newspaper ads were a thing back then. So we would put these classified ads in the Northeast and Midwest newspapers, and our phone was ringing off the hook. So everybody at that time, those investors, right, speculators, could put money down on a contract, assign contracts. It was pretty easy money until it wasn't, and then it stopped. So money was great for a couple of years. Things were going really well. First 2 years in real estate, and then it stopped. So I had to think of what opportunity can I make out of this, and how can I serve my clients to the best of their ability? Because I don't know what's going to happen, So I asked one of my clients. I said, "Hey, would you consider renting your property out?" And they said yes. And then the next person said yes. And then it spiraled. All of a sudden, within 2 years, I had about 350 properties under management, and I started building that. And then I said, okay, well, now I really want to get back into sales as well, and started building a short sale and distressed property division, and then just started hammering it out individually. I grew a team, but then I figured I just wanted to sell on my own. Over the course of the years, sold 1,500 homes, helped 3,000 plus landlords rent their properties. So it's been fun.
I'm glad you brought that up because everybody comes into this industry, comes into this market right now with a set of experiences that they're going to leverage to help them get to the next point, as well as help others reach whatever point they need to do. And so it sounds like you've got a fantastic opportunity right now in front of you to leverage that past experience from distressed sales, understanding property management opportunities, because one thing that I notice in every one of these episodes is a theme. And one of the themes has been helping vacant landlords get renters into their properties, and as well as possibly helping these landlords who are in, let's just say, a distressed position actually sell portfolios of those. And so without getting too far into the details, do you see that opportunity on the horizon right now?
Yeah, I see top opportunities everywhere across the board. So, for example, Airbnb owners, okay, they're having a lot of cancellations. They can't fill those rooms. So, and that's going to happen even after this is quote unquote over. It's not going to be over. I mean, the new normal is the new normal. It's developing as we speak, and as it continues to develop, it's not going to be like overnight everything changes. It's going to be over time, and over time, it's going to take a long time for people to start easing back in to those seats. So Airbnbs, those owners are going to be great to either sell or to manage their properties full time. There's certainly portfolios. There's going to be a lot of properties where we have increased inventory and those people can't sell. They're going to need to put it on the rental market. And that's always been something that I have loved to do, to be the trusted advisor. So when you can come to the table and present 2 opportunities or 3 opportunities, the question isn't, should I work with you? No, that's the given. The question is, which opportunity do I choose? Should I rent my property out or should I sell it? And it's only logical that they do it with you. Now you're just giving them the choice, they're choosing. It increases your conversion rate.
Thank you, because the name of this show is the Stability and Opportunity Podcast, because we're trying to help agents get stable and stay focused on opportunities. Before we jump into the details of what you say, what you do to take advantage of the opportunities that obviously you see and are going to help us understand a little bit more clearly, I'd like to let our audience know that, yes, our script video is in production right now. Tyler Lee, behind the scenes, our videographer, we are going to be meeting this afternoon. And so if you're on the email list to get these email updates, then expect sometime soon an email from our team letting you know that video, which has taken a slice of all the best scripts from every single one of the past somewhere near 20 episodes we've done now. And they're going to be giving you all that. In fact, I previewed the version of it and put some edits on it I think you're all going to love. And so stay tuned. That's coming. I know a few people were calling in and asking for it. So just be tight a little bit. Hold tight a little bit longer. We're going to get that out to you. Also, this is a participatory event. So all our friends, all our fans, this is an opportunity for you to chat in there, say things, say hi. If you like what he's talking about, drop a question, because we're going to interact with you over time. And so this is not just sit there and watch what we say, but also get engaged, get involved, because that's going to help you actually take advantage of the time you're spending with us right now. And so, Jay, number one opportunity, what do you think that is right now for agents who are watching this to take advantage of?
It's going to be something that it's probably going to be something that you wouldn't think of. But what I was sitting at the dinner table with my wife like 3 weeks ago, and I don't know what came over me, but I was like, you know what? The whole world has slowed down right now. And this has given me an opportunity to finally catch up. You know what I'm saying? Because you have all of these things that you are pursuing, all these different opportunities. We're chasing our tails, and it was just moving so quickly. So once it did finally slow down, I said, okay, what I'm going to do is take this opportunity to get more balance in my life. And when I get balance, I get clarity. My mindset is right, and then I can start banging out my schedule. So I did a little reset. That was the biggest opportunity I took. Number one, I started focusing more time on my family. So homeschool has been awesome, except that my kids come in the he shed whenever the hell they want, and it's about an hour I take with my son doing homeschool with him every day. I spend an additional 30 minutes with my kids each day, reset and got my health in check. Got more time with my wife, and then I started getting the clarity. So I started working diligently on property management and preparing myself and the industry for what's coming there. And also on the real estate agent side, just doing everything I can to to teach, to train, to give value out there, so that I can help others get through this hard time. So huge opportunities. I would say the biggest two opportunities are going to be in property management and distressed properties. But distressed properties is going to come a little bit further down the road.
So the people to reach out to now, who are those people, and what are you saying to them in preparation for these opportunities?
Great. Now, if I'm an agent, right? We're talking about as an agent?
Yep.
All right, perfect. So as an agent, this is what you do. You call every single person, and I'm sure all your podcast guests have said the same thing. You call every single person that you know. You have a conversation with them. You get in rapport with them. You build the authority. You hit on those mental triggers, and you get your CRM more in line. You get your database working for you. You start turning that into a machine. Work 2 or 3 extra hours a day than you were working before. Don't take this time to lay down and let the environment put pressure on you. I'm going to challenge you. Put pressure back. Put pressure back and take this opportunity. So start calling all your clients and doing this, and then pick 1 or 2 farms and start working those, because chances are the people who are dominating farms before are not dominating those as much anymore. So if you really start pursuing and making those phone calls in a community that you really wanted to get into, it's a huge opportunity for that as well.
So I know we've got a couple of different audience, I'll call it segments, listening to this right now. So I want to be able to address all the different people, why they're here, as many as possible. And so we've got a lot of solo agents who are primarily focused on using the telephone to make connections and generate business. Solo agents. Hi, solo agents. We've got people who are used to working their sphere in farming, and they have that concept. And we've got agents who are in California and other, let's say, states in which executive orders have been given by the governor to limit their ability on who they can reach out to and what they say. And if we could speak to what you would do as far as advice for each one of those different agents, that I think that would speak to the 3 levels of people who are watching and listening right now. And feel free to ask me questions if you need some help along the way getting back into what those are.
Sure. So I guess the first would be the last, and that's the agents who are having restrictions on who they can call. So the calls that, from what I understand, that are being restricted, I know it's in New York, but it's in California as well now. Is that right, guys?
It's California and New York. Yeah, you can talk directly to the audience, and I'll read back to you. In fact, Pat Severson's even chiming in right now.
Okay, great. Yeah, because I'm not looking at the chat right now. So yes, so in those areas, you can still call your database. You can still call your CRM, and you can work people who you have not spoken to in a while. Now, here's another opportunity. If you have, let's say you're not in property management, because I always mix the two, because it's housing, really. You know what I mean? You can build a recession-proof business if you have a well-run property management company and a real estate brokerage. So if you don't have a property management company, align yourself with 1 or 2 property management companies locally who do not currently do sales, and ask them, say, hey, you know what? I want to be able to do a service for you. I know you're running around. I want to be able to call your owners and your tenants and make sure they have everything they need. I'll work alongside you. You can, we'll work on the script together so that you know what I'm saying. And then, but all I ask in return to do all of this work for you is that I can help you work your database in the future in order to get some sales from there. So that's a huge opportunity right there.
I love that. I want to jump into that more, because that is a hidden gem you have and you see from your point of view that a lot of agents don't. And I want to also address Pat's question, which is, what would you say to those people you're calling on what's going on in this market? And she's in California.
Mm-hmm. So first, I would just, it's easier just to do a role play, right?
Sure, let's do it.
Yeah, ring, ring.
Hello.
Yeah, hey, Justin, it's Jay Berube. How's it going?
Hey, how are you?
Hey, doing good. Haven't spoken to you in a while. I just wanted to catch you up, bring you up to speed, but first kind of see how you guys are doing during times.
We're at home a lot. Thankfully, I get to work remotely and, spend a little bit more time with my kids.
Yeah, no kidding. You have to look at the bright side and what you can actually do. So good on you for taking advantage of some great opportunities. Yeah, I'm staying on top of the market. Obviously, there's a lot of things that are changing right now. I know we sold you that house a few years ago on Main Street. You still there?
Yes, yeah, we are.
Fantastic. Good for you. Yeah, there's so many things happening. So I'm staying on top. What questions do you have right now about the real estate market that I can help you with?
How are prices doing around around town in the neighborhood?
Yeah, it's a great question. Right now, it's kind of too early to tell. Things are still a little uncertain. I'm sure you're feeling that as well. But as everything shakes out, I'm staying really close to all the key decision makers and really knowing what's going on. So, if you don't mind, what I'm doing is I'm sending an update to my customer list about once a week. So I'll send that to you in an email. Is your email still ...
Yep, that's right.
Okay, great. Hey, if you need anything, just reach out. But look for that email. Okay. So basically, you don't want to be asking people for business right now. That's not what you're doing. You're looking to check up on them, to build that rapport, to build the authority, and you can use whatever script you want as long as you hit on a couple of things: rapport, authority, and communication. And the communication piece is setting the expectation that I'm going to be sending you this email with more value, things that you really want to know. So, but just make sure you follow through with that.
Thanks, Jay. And Pat, if you have any other questions about that, just chime back in on the chat and we'll bring it back up. But the next thing to talk about would be she's asking about now circle prospecting. And let's see what she says here. What would you say to the ones when circle prospecting just say, like, okay, don't quite understand that. I guess that goes for circle prospecting as well, in addition to past customers.
Yeah, pretty much. But for circle prospecting, it's easier. You just pull up some information about that community stat-wise as far as what's been going on, and you just touch on a couple of those things as key points. They see more authority in that because you know your numbers, you know what you're doing, and you're not asking for business at the same time. But what you're doing is all of those contacts that you make, you're feeding into your database and the notes in the conversation, and then you need to keep those conversations going.
Great. What are some popular databases that you and your clients use and rely on for this stuff?
You talking about CRMs?
Yep.
CRM, currently we're using LionDesk and LeadSimple. So LeadSimple incorporates a lot of the property management, and then LionDesk for the sales CRM.
Okay. Yeah, our customers use our Vortex. We can't quite call it a CRM because we want to stay away from playing in that field exactly, but it's essentially a lead manager, and all the notes and stuff go in there, and people set reminders and follow up with that. Now, as far as follow up, what do you send and how do you send it afterwards?
Mm-hmm. So good question. And first off, on Vortex, we also use Vortex.
Okay, great.
Yeah, we use Vortex. We download our leads. We import them up into Mojo, and we call through Mojo, and then we sync them into LionDesk after that. So as far as everybody who's analytical out there that likes to hear about the tech, that's how we do that. But what was your question again, Justin?
It was about what gets sent after the follow-up.
Oh, okay. So
during the follow-up.
Yeah, so usually what I'll have is during this time, I'll shoot like a 60-second video or a 2-minute video. And those are really the things that you should be sending out, because you can do a text message right after the conversation with a video. And it's easy. I mean, you just use a script that basically says things similar to what you said on the phone, but is relevant to the entire audience. So, hey, I just want to let you know I'm here for you for whatever you need. This is what's happening right now as of today, and this is how it's affecting real estate. I'm not sure if you know this, but in California and New York, we can't even make a lot of calls to our customers. So we really want to find new ways, because we're on the cutting edge of making sure that we can serve you. So this is what we're doing. So, I was doing my hand on my phone.
Awesome. Have you heard of other agents and their safe showing instructions or safe showing guidelines?
Utilizing those?
Yeah. Does that all
Yeah.
get incorporated into any of your content, or?
No. My what I send out isn't really like, I don't want to call that fluff. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But the stuff that I send out is usually very practical information that they want to know, that they typically don't hear other places. I like to give people the hard truth that that they don't hear. Just like when I'm coaching agents, that people will either love me or hate me. Usually, there's not like that much of a middle ground, because I'm just very honest. And sometimes it comes across as brash. But once people get to know me, they know it comes from a place of sincerity, because I really care about people. And I want to give agents and my customers the honest information so they can be realistic on what to expect.
Is there a place the audience who are watching this could go to see some examples of the video or content you produce in the follow-up?
Yeah, Facebook, on my Facebook page. So J Berube RE is the /. And then there's also, if you go to salescommands.com, that would take you either to my Facebook group or to my YouTube channel. But once you get in the ecosystem, you'll find everything you're looking for.
Awesome. So one of the other things we should talk about is something common that comes up in our shows, which is the expireds, FSBOs, and we'll say we'll leave it at those two right now. Those are very common products and services agents use, and I want to give those who are watching right now who have those products maybe some adaptations that you or your clients have made in order to, let's just say, feel authentic while also still being in integrity with building their business.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a great question, because for me, it circles around to even just more than COVID-19, because it has to do with that authenticity, like you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
One of the biggest struggles that we have, because I built my sales career on expired, canceled FSBOs. So thank you guys very much, REDX. Okay, because I have been an avid fan for over a decade now. In fact, what's interesting, over the last couple of years, I really took a look at my numbers, and 80% of the homes that I sold, I never met the clients face to face. And that's how good I ended up getting with my scripts over the phone, because I'm calling the coldest of cold leads, right? I mean, it's usually what many agents, unless you're sick and twisted like me, and you other guys listening that just love expireds and FSBOs. But we know that it's not really sick and twisted, because once you really get in the flow and you understand that a script isn't a salesy thing that you're trying to convince somebody to do something, but in fact what you're doing is you're understanding the elements of a script, and you're asking questions to help someone else get to the logical conclusion that makes the best sense for them, so you can help them, all the while breaking down barriers in that conversation. And the how, the what, and the how, and the why you say things is so important. So that authenticity is critical. And if you're authentic, or if you would just, guys listening, if you would just make sure you give yourself permission to tap into who you really are, then for the avatars that are watching that typically don't like calling those colder leads, just know that it's okay. All you have to do is just tap into that person you are, use a script as an outline, and just come from that place of caring, and it's not going to hurt. It's not going to be so painful. So yeah, I would give that same advice right now on with COVID-19. If you're authentic in those calls and you're still making them, well, you're doing a lot better than 60% of other agents who have just stopped. So you start making those calls again, or if you are making them, keep making them, and just be authentic.
One of the fun things we get to do on this show is adapt the past markets, systems, scripts, and approaches and apply them live right here, untested, never done before. So, and the other second part of that is the audience gets to participate with us and put us on the spot to answer questions, to try things out. And so, Robert Clark, thank you so much. Challenge accepted. He wants us to role play your typical expired script, and I'm going to plus one it and have us. Yeah, I see you're getting ready for. You ready? Plus one it for this environment. So I'll be the caller. I'll be.
Hold on. Let me grab something here.
I feel like I said something that's now transforming you into.
Hold on one sec.
Sure.
I don't have it, but I don't need it. Okay, go ahead. I always like to have my script in front of me, no matter how many times I've ever read it or said it, because it helps me get back on track for the conversation. So,
okay.
So, am I calling you?
You're calling me.
Okay.
Yeah,
ring.
Definitely. Hello.
Yeah, hey there. I'm looking for Justin.
This is Justin.
Yeah, hey Justin. This is Jay. I'm a local realtor and property manager in the area, and I was just calling. I noticed your home had came off the market for sale, and I was calling to see if it had sold or if you were still interested in selling the property.
It's off the market. We still would like to sell it, but it's kind of crazy out there right now.
Yeah, it is. It is kind of crazy. Now, you had it on the market for like 6 months. What do you think stopped it from selling?
I really wish I knew. I think the agent really didn't give us much information as far as what was happening and why it was happening, and kind of frustrating, actually.
Yeah, you know what? I hear that a lot, Justin. It's the lack of communication that frustrates me about my industry. Because there's some great real estate agents out there. And there's, just like in any industry, there's some that just aren't so great. So communication is key. Now, if that agent were communicating with you, or if you had an agent like myself that was giving you that great communication, ideally, what would you like to do? Would you like to still sell the home? And if so, where would you move to?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's hard for us to really see the future right now.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, I know with so many changes, it really is hard to see the future. When it was on the market for 6 months, where were you guys going to move if it had sold?
We were going to move to a little place on the beach.
Hey, no kidding. The beach where?
Delray Beach, Florida.
Oh, good for you. Yeah, I have some friends in that area. What takes you down to Delray?
Looking to retire.
Okay, a lot of great places to retire. Why Delray?
Sunshine and great restaurants. We have some family down there.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you have? Do you have kids down there or parents?
My parents, yeah, they're down there.
Yeah, it's good to be closer to the parents. And do you have kids right now, Justin?
I do, yes.
You want to get them closer to their grandparents, don't you?
Every single day.
I totally understand. Hey, look, if we could get this home sold before we have possibly what I'm seeing, some prices going down and inventory going up in the market, if we get you down there in the next, say, 90, 120 days, get your property sold, net you more money than you would in, say, 6 months from now, is that something you'd still be interested in, Justin?
Sure, but what do you mean by prices and going down? Where are you looking for that?
Yeah, exactly. And I definitely want to talk to you about that. So why don't we do this? Why don't we book a time? We can do a virtual listing appointment. I've been doing a lot of these lately. And then we can go over those things, and I can show you how we can move you to Delray so you can finally get your kids with their grandparents and then not have to worry about any of this stuff again. Do you have time later today at 4, or is tomorrow at 6 better for you?
That sounds interesting. Before saying yes, what's a virtual listing or virtual listing appointment? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, of course. Don't worry. I'm going to walk you through all of that. It's basically us face-to-face without being face-to-face. And we'll be able to do it on the computer. I'll walk you through the whole thing. What time is going to work better for you and your wife? Is it going to be today at 4 or tomorrow at 6?
Can I get back to you? I really want to check with my wife to see what her schedule is.
Absolutely. And I want you to check with your wife, too, to make sure her schedule is good. Now, she's probably home a lot like you right now. So why don't we do this? Is 6 o'clock usually better, or is 4 o'clock usually better? Because we can pencil something in, and then you can make sure you confirm with your wife. And if anything changes, then you can let me know.
Yeah.
So today at 4?
Yeah. Why don't we pencil in at 6 after dinner and everything's done?
Perfect. We'll do today at 6. I'm going to send you a link in a little bit, and you'll receive a text message from me in just a few minutes. Sound good, Justin?
Sounds good to me.
Great. Can't wait to get you guys down to Delray.
Thank you. Looking forward to it.
Boom! Nailed it.
Yeah, you like how
for being tough. Thank you.
Yeah. I thought I'd throw in that last one. Let me ask my wife. I'm sure that's like the most common and probably one of the most challenging ones to overcome.
Ask anybody. Ask the Pope for all I care. I'm still getting the appointment, baby.
That was fun. Yeah, we got Robert's like nice. He's giving us some thumbs up.
Thank you,
yeah, if you enjoyed that too, give us some thumbs up as well. I'll let Jay know that you all enjoyed what we just did. And so let's talk about the next step here. Let's talk about that virtual listing appointment, because I think agents think about things in stages, right? We got to first look at the opportunity. Then we got to first then approach the opportunity. What lead site types. Then you have to then get into the scripting. Then you've got the follow-up, right? And so if people say yes and they followed what you just laid out for us, the next step would be that virtual listing appointment. So let's talk about what happens next. I actually really want to know for my own knowledge, as well as the audience wants to know as well.
Sure. So there's always and sometimes it's interesting. Sometimes we take for granted what we think is such a given because we play in that space so often. So I've been virtual, I have a virtual property management company. I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina. I moved from Florida, and I still have a property management company there. So I was my own virtual employee, and I have remote team members in 6 different countries right now. So we have remote team members in the Philippines, Nicaragua, Romania, and a couple of others. But that's for property management and for real estate sales. So leverage is so important. But anyway, I get off track. What was that again?
I'll bring you back. Don't worry. That's what I'm here for, man. Let's talk about virtual listing appointments. You just took it through. You got the appointment for me. The agents listening to this right now are like, woo, I'm going to go listen to that again, which again, you can watch the replay of this after it's over. And then from there, they've got to have something to back up what you just said. So let's give them a detailed breakdown of what that virtual listing appointment looks like.
Yeah, exactly. So it's similar to your regular appointment, but you have to get them set up for the tech first. So you have to ask a couple of other qualifying questions, just like how you would normally do your pre-qual call. Okay, you're still going to do that. And in your pre-qualification call, you are walking them through the tech setup. So you have your computer at home, and do you have a microphone or a built-in microphone? This is what we'll do. I'm going to send you a link, Zoom Room RE. So I got my own domain for my Zoom, zoomroomre.com.
Yeah.
And I'm going to shoot that over to you in a text and in an email, and it's going to have these instructions. But it's super easy. It'll only take a second.
Jay, you did a great job on the role play. I was really in it with you on that. So why don't we actually now role play back again as if it was the moment after I got the text. It's 6:00 p.m. at whatever time we said it was. Call me again, or let's jump back in the zone, and I'll be the guy, and I'll be taking your instructions. And so that way I think the audience can then get back into that feel that was everyone got a lot of nice and applause on things for you. So they enjoyed that.
So the actual presentation then.
Let's do the role play, and I'll pick up for the presentation as if I know nothing.
Fantastic. Hey, Justin?
Yes?
Yeah, hey, Justin. Jay Berube, just giving you a call here so that we can go through so that we can talk about your property and get you sold and move you to Delray. Are you and your wife in front of the computer?
We are. Yes, here she is. We're both standing in front of you.
Fantastic. Oh, okay. She just came into it. I get it now. Hey, Barbara, how you doing?
I'm not.
Hey, nice to finally meet you. Cool. Hey, guys. All right.
Hey.
So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna pull up a screen share for you guys, right? And I have a slideshow, and in that slideshow, we're gonna cover a few. And I respect your time, so I've made it as concise as possible, but with the most relevant information. And I made sure that that we have a good idea of what pricing looks like and time frame. Okay, sound good?
Sounds good.
Does that sound good, Justin? Barbara, good?
Yep,
Perfect.
yep.
So I'd be trying to get some trial closes,
Mhm.
So I'm trying to get people to nod their head and say yes, because then it's going to be easier to get the signature. Now, guys, I also sent you over an email which had some documents for listing and selling the home. Did you get those, Justin?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. We're going to go over those in just a little bit. So there's going to be 7 things that I hit on in this presentation, and I'm just going to be sharing the slides with you. The first thing is, who am I, and and what company I'm with, and that kind of stuff. Because not because it's about me, it's about you guys and getting you to Delray, but you have to have a general idea of who you're talking to. Make sense?
Right.
Then the next thing we're going to go over is, and then I would go ... over those next things. And then it would be the slides. I'd be going through the slides. And then at the end, I would ask for the signature. So, yeah, that's how it goes.
Okay, great. And is there a pre-listing package that gets sent?
Yeah, it would be the same pre-listing package as normal, which in a pre-listing package, I send the listing agreement, the disclosures, and the information about us, and I send a video with that as well. We use video a lot in our company for sales and for property management, and the video is to set that next expectation. So we do it from 60 seconds to 2 minutes, and they're all just, hey, I just wanted to, and you would have received, Justin, a video from me as well with for the listing presentation. Hey, I just wanted to thank you and Barbara for taking the time to interview me to get the home sold for you guys, to move you over to Delray. And I just want to let you know it's not going to take any more than 30 minutes of y'all's time. And I'm super excited to really show you about this. So basically just getting into, like setting the expectation, but also having that personal touch as much as possible. Because when you're not the best method of communication for any of us is face-to-face. Now, when we can't be face-to-face, if we can be virtually face-to-face, well, that's the second best option. And then third is phone call, right? And then fourth is, whatever, email or text message, but it's better to be on the phones or to be virtual or to be face-to-face.
That's awesome. Is there a place on your website, which I saw has a lot of fantastic materials, where they could see a pre-listing package or anything similar like the video you just mentioned?
Currently, no, but we do have one that just got put together by one of my partners that we just shared, and I believe that he had given me a link to that to join a group, but I can talk about that a little bit later too.
Okay, yeah, if we can get that or talk about that later, it'd be great for the audience to have.
Sure.
I do want to circle back and dive a little bit more into detail on what that virtual listing experience was like. I know I kind of put you on the spot for it, and there are maybe some details on, let's say it wasn't virtual, right? Some of the things that you say, the objections that you commonly get faced with, and how is it any different in person versus virtual?
Yeah, I mean, 80% of the listings that I sold were over the phone, so I was doing that without even doing video. So I guess sometimes I take that for granted, but it's really just sending them the paperwork ahead of time and going through the CMA and asking them questions about pricing, what they think about the price, hitting on the motivation, why you guys are moving to Delray, your kids and their grandparents, right? Yeah, awesome, great. Sounds fantastic. Really just hitting on that motivation and then getting to the signature. So, I mean, as far as presentation, I don't like to give a long formal presentation. I like to hit on the important topics, make sure that I have the rapport in the conversation, that I'm asking the questions, that I know their motivation, and that if they are motivated, to get them to sign.
I'm going to touch on this just one more time, and if we can get to it, if not, I've got another question or two. I want to see maybe if you could and role play with yourself, maybe one line, or we'll say it like branch or tree of how you go from starting in the conversation to getting the signature. And if you want to kind of verbalize that back and forth, I think that'd be fantastic for the audience to hear.
Sure. Okay. So, hey, Justin. So you got the paperwork that I had sent to you in the email. Yes, I got the paperwork. Fantastic. So let's go over some details about your home. You have 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1,400 square feet. Okay, fantastic. And you are moving to Delray. Okay, great. So what are you looking for in an agent? So I would ask them that question. I want to find out. Sometime I'll ask them in the pre-qual, but if I don't get that ahead of time, then I'll ask them during the presentation. And then usually I'll ask a couple of rapport building questions, just like, hey, tell me a little bit about the house. Why did you buy the home? What's important to you about it? And what features should I use? Would you like me to use and not exclude when I'm selling the home? So a lot of what I add into my scripts is framing conversation. So like when I sell the home.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Assumptive.
Exactly. Yeah. Assumptive closes. But using those types of skills as much as possible in the presentation. And when we do this, it's an inclusive type of conversation. When we're a team. So using inclusive language, using assumptives, getting them to say yes, asking them the open-ended questions. Because the last thing, this is actually the most important thing. Doesn't matter if you're on the phone, virtual, or face-to-face, but it is asking the questions. So knowing which questions to ask, and then knowing typically what those responses are going to be, and then how you can redirect into another question. Because the moment that you stop controlling the conversation, it's game over. You've been there before, guys. They start drilling you with questions and you're not necessarily prepared for them, especially newer agents. But even myself, if I ever go into a listing presentation and I am not prepared, then, I'm going down I'm not going down in flames, but it makes my job a lot more difficult. And I just feel, I don't feel at ease anymore.
And I was watching Comedians in Cars with Coffee with Jerry Seinfeld, a couple of those episodes, and he was rolling around with Eddie Murphy, and both of them, the legends that they are, say that they still get nervous and they still sometimes fear bombing on stage. And so even at the highest levels, which we're all kind of stand-up comics, I'm standing up here right now trying to nail my lines and stay focused on the audience. And, you and the rest of the audience, when you're out there on the phone or in front of customers, we're all stand-up comedians in some way. And even the best, tend to have their moments of doubt, in that training and practice was always the thing that they said brought them back to center.
Yeah, absolutely. It has to be training, practice. You're not going to win every time, and you have to have normally, like when a client comes to me for coaching, normally they think that they want one thing. And it's usually more leads or how to generate more leads. 9 times out of 10, it's related to mindset. Mindset is so tough. So if it's scripts or if it's leads, it's because of mindset. If it's because of something else, usually it's because of mindset. And this is the most challenging thing for any of us, myself included. I had an entire year of my life several years ago where I was almost incapacitated, depressed. And we all go through these things. And I'm just being completely honest. And it was tough. And I couldn't get out of that mindset. But every adversity that we have in our life, if we look at that as an opportunity to what we can learn, how we can do better, and how we can serve others by going through that opportunity, that's what creates what really fulfills us at the end, which is legacy.
You brought up a topic I think is really super important, and thank you for opening up and sharing that, because I think you're not alone. You're not alone. Everybody knows that life is hard, and we have to develop tools and skills to help us get out of places when our mind collapses on us. And I've been there myself, so I really resonate with how do you build resiliency after things fall apart. And so for some agents right now, they're probably in that space. And for some agents, they may get to that space. And so your experience and your skills and your success are a result of you overcoming those challenges and those circumstances, that internal challenge. And so if you wouldn't mind spending a little bit of time right now, giving our audience an opportunity to understand, the show's about knowing what to say and do. Maybe it's what you need to say to yourself and what you need to do for yourself before you can get out there and help others. And so help us understand what that looked like for you in case other agents right now need to hear that message.
Sure. And let me start this off by saying, you guys, we all have this mindset. It's hard. You get rejected. Doesn't matter how long you've been doing this for. It can get to you. But if you don't protect yourself before or do everything that you can to protect yourself before, then you're setting yourself up for failure. So I've had, even going back further, Justin, I was an extreme alcoholic for several years. This is before I got into real estate. And it happens, right? I mean, we all have our baggage. And I tried quitting drinking like thousands of times. You have a long weekend. It's like, I'm never going to drink again. But then I was, back on it. But then one day, and that was about, I think, 13 years ago, I quit. I quit for good. And normally for us to make any dramatic changes, we have to move away from pain. And that pain has to be strong enough. So there's two reasons why we make decisions. The first is to move towards pleasure. And moving towards pleasure is, hey, I want to go to the gym because I want to feel good. That's moving towards pleasure. But moving away from pain is, well, I need to go to the gym because I just had, double bypass surgery 4 months ago, and I need to start walking again, more regularly, or I'm going to die. So which is more powerful? It's moving away from pain. But most of the times we're not ready to make that. The bigger the decision, the bigger thing that we have to adjust to, then the bigger the pain has to be. So identify that pain, or if it's not happening right now in your life, but what could happen by not taking action, and identify that. And then just start taking small, manageable steps. So for me, it had to be massive action. So for a whole year, I gained about 50 pounds, and then I said, okay, I have to do something. So it was on January 1st, I put my mind to it, and I said, I am going to do this and dedicate nothing but me to just this. And it was working out, eating right, and just measuring and being okay with myself. Letting go, guys, you have to be able to let go of the things that either are not truly important, or to let go of the things that you just can't simply control. And that is easier said than done. And I get that. But again, comes with practice. And if you practice these things on a daily basis and just incorporate one at a time, then you'll be better. So it's like, I give this example of going to the gym. You haven't been in 6 months, and we tend to overcomplicate things like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I don't want to go to the gym and do all these complicated workouts. We research what workouts we're going to do, how long we're going to stay there, how we're going to fit in our schedule, all these things. But guess what? If you just go to the gym and you walk in the door, you wake up at 5 a.m., 6 a.m., whatever, you walk in the door of the gym and then you walk right back out and you go home, guess what? First step, you did it. You got up at the right time and you went in the door. Next day, go back. Maybe you spend 5 minutes in there. Next day, you go back. You just take small, manageable steps that you can achieve, and then you feel like a winner. Hey, I won. I went. That's awesome. Because we all just tell we all just tell ourselves these stories, and we make out problems that sometimes are not as big as they seem to us. So just be real with yourself and just think about, how do I really want to live my life? and then it'll be natural, and then you'll start taking the right actions.
I really wish we got into this at the beginning, because we could dive so deep into that. I feel like everyone has skeletons in their closet and pain that they need to move away from. And the energy that goes into thinking and thinking and thinking actually makes it worse. And people have so much potential. Our audience, I think included, are coming here for the scripts, and the tactics. But underneath it all, we're humans and we have emotions, and how we feel so much dictates what we do. And if we feel terrible, then we act terrible. And what we do every day matters more than what we do every once in a while. And Connie says from the audience, thank you so much for the personal touch. And Marie says, great message. And I just think it takes a level of heroism to come up on here and share a little bit about yourself with essentially almost complete strangers. And so I think you've given everybody a little unlock, a little bit of ease and grace to go about their day with a little bit more deeper understanding of what they need to move away from and what they need to move towards. We have just a couple of minutes left, and this is, I think, an important issue. It goes back to more of the tactics and practices. And if you or anybody that you're close to does open houses or virtual open houses right now, I feel like you might be one of the best people to talk about, because of how you handle all your stuff already through virtual listing appointments. If there's a way or some tactics around virtual open houses that might help illuminate a common practice now applied to today's era.
Yeah, so there's two things that that we've been doing. One is, of course, I love Matterports. So even before any of this, I would get as many Matterports as I can. If you don't know what a Matterport is, it's 3D technology that is super easy to use for customers. They just basically are clicking on buttons on their phone or iPad or a computer, and it walks them through the house, and you can see basically every single nook and cranny, I guess those are words nowadays, right, of the house. So you can see everywhere in the house. You talk about skeletons in the closet, you can see if they have skeletons in the closet. But no, for real, Matterport's great. So that's one. And then another thing that we've been doing is going through the home ourselves and actually just doing one of those walkthroughs. Nothing fancy, but you can just use your iPhone and just walk through the property and talk about the features, and you can use those resources as your virtual showings and virtual open houses. Well, actually, virtual open house, you would be promoting and doing that differently. Yeah.
Yeah, let's jump into that a little bit more. We have Sharita who asks, can you spell Matterport for us?
Matterport.
Great. Yeah, that's come up a lot in our episodes, and maybe if you know somebody there, it's about time maybe we reach out and get them on the show for them to talk about what they do and how they do it, because it seems like a very popular technology.
Yeah, I love Matterports. But as far as virtual open houses, we're not doing many virtual open houses. More in line of virtual showings, because we don't want to be going inside of the properties, and honestly, we usually don't even do many open houses. So for virtual open houses, we're just not that excited about it, to be honest with you.
Okay. Yeah, it's good to know, because some people are adapting them. So I'd like to hear if you had any thoughts on that. We're getting close to the end here, and it's just been a phenomenal last half of the show right now. And I always like to feel like I've made a friend, especially somebody new who's come on here and shared a lot of great ideas and experience. I would like to hold out one more question, but before then, just if the audience, if you've had a great experience today, if you enjoyed Jay's conversations, Jay's ideas, any of the thoughts, just give us some thumbs up, some likes in the chat right now. It always helps us out. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube, hit like or subscribe. It really helps our videos get traction and share these messages with others. It really makes a big difference. And so last thing before we wrap up the show is you came on here, and one of the first things we talked about at the beginning, but then only talked about at the end, was mindset. I think you're really big on mindset. If you could leave the audience with some really strong, whatever you want to call it, principles, tactics, strategies, life lessons, let's give them something to walk away today and feel better about themselves in the future.
Awesome. So I know many folks that I work with have kids, and my kids, they're both 7. They're both adopted. They were drug addicted at birth, and it's been a challenge and a lot of work. But communicating with them is so important. So one of the things that I taught them at a very early age is the 3 things that you need to live. And they know these things now, and I love it. It makes me feel fulfilled, right? It's like when you have kids and you tell them the same thing for like 6 years straight, and then finally it's like, oh, I got it. You're like, oh my God, thank God I stuck with it. But those 3 things to live are water, food, and oxygen. Well, food, we usually get too much of it, and we usually get the wrong kinds of food in our body, right? I mean, like, and trust me, this guy right here too, okay, we all do it. That's why right now I'm on a cleanse. So we have that with food, but with water, we normally don't get enough water. And if we do drink more water, we'll start feeling healthier and we'll start making better decisions. And then the same thing with oxygen. So I always want to make sure that we're paying attention to those things, because physiologically, if we are not good physiologically, it is way more difficult. That's like most of it. Getting to like the right mindset, you have to be good. You have to be doing some type of exercise. So even if it's just small, like, walking for 15 or 30 minutes a day or something like that, but moving your body, drinking enough water, purposefully breathing. So I would say do a 3 in, 3 out, 3 times, and do that once an hour. Just in and make your belly big, and then out. Do that 3 times, but step away from everything else. Make sure you're taking your water breaks. That is going to get people so much further than anything else. You guys you'll feel a lot better when you start making sure you're incorporating that.
If I had a giant highlighter right now, I would highlight the part of this show about stability. That's where the stability comes from. The stability is internal. The opportunity is outside. And so thank you, Jay. Please stay with us after the show. We want to have a little post show with you. For everybody else who's watching, I just want to give a couple last shout outs. Amanda, Audrey, Kirk, Robert, Sharita, Ema, Etha, everybody who keeps coming back. Connie, Matt, keep scrolling up. Maurice, Gary, Pat, I think maybe I said Pat again, all our favorite fans. Thank you so much for participating in the show. Always appreciate the comments. It makes it feel like a family, makes us feel like we've got friends. It's not just 2 of us up here chatting, talking about things that we want to talk about. I love how you guys get involved. Keep on showing up. Keep on asking questions. Love to have Jay back for another round of conversations on some other things that he's doing and saying in today's market. If you're watching this again live, thank you for showing up. If you're watching this in YouTube, scroll down in the description. We're going to be putting links to resources, ebooks, links of all the things we've talked about, that infamous/famous, soon to be famous ebook that we're coming out with /video is going to be released with all the different scripts. And so make sure you're on the list. And of course, I want to say one more thing here, and it is, have a great day, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. I'll see you guys next time. I'm Justin Zimmerman here on the Stability and Opportunity Podcast.
See you guys.